And today I'm going to make a pasta that comes from Puglia. I'm using durum semolina flour, so I want to measure out 2½ cups by lightly sprinkling the flour into a dry measuring cup. So here's my 1/2 cup on my board. So with the durum, we want just a little salt. So I stick a little salt there, and then we want to make our little crater or our little fontana. So I burrow down right into the center. So now we're going to add some water. I've got some salt in here as well, so a little salt in some warm water. And you start by adding some water into the center of the flour. And then you start bringing the flour into the center, and you add just enough flour to give you a dough, something that holds together. So this is something that you just kind of have to eyeball. You'll get the hang of it once you make pasta enough times. So gather up the flour as you're going along, add a little bit of the water, not all of it at one time, and it's best to work on a floured board instead of working on something like stainless steel or a metal surface, because wood has grab, and you need that for when you're making dough. So you take your time till you see that you have a dough that's going to hold together. And I know that I need more water, so I'm going to put a little bit more water there. And you want to make sure that you have, for cavatelli, a sturdy dough, because you're going to have to either form them by hand, or you can use something called a cavatelli machine. And then you have to let it rest. So here is the dough I just made. You put it on a board, a floured board, put a bowl over it, let it rest there for about 30 minutes. Here's a rested dough. You see how nice and soft and pliable that is, and those little indentations stay there? That tells you that that dough's ready to go. So now you can just give it a few turns, and then we're going to cut this dough, and I'm going to show you how to make cavatelli. This is a cavatelli maker. It's my new latest toy. Other women get roses and diamonds. I got a cavatelli machine. And it makes great cavatelli. So it's just anchored to your counter, and it has little rollers here, wooden rollers, and we're going to stick the dough through there, and it's going to come out here. You want small pieces, and you want to roll them under the palm of your hand. Now the trick to doing cavatelli, and did I say that cavatelli means a little cave or indentation? I'm going to put some flour down and just roll them onto the flour. So let's put this through again. Okay. So there they are. And you see they have ridges on them, and that's there so that you can have your sauce really cling to the cavatelli. So once you've got all this dough done, you've made all the cavatelli, you let them sit out for about 15-20 minutes while you make the sauce. Now the sauce for this is really simple. You want to start with some garlic, so I'm mincing up 2 cloves of fresh garlic. In go the breadcrumbs, and you just move those around until they're flavored. The oil gets all absorbed by the bread. You got to be careful here so that you don't burn the breadcrumbs. All you really want to do is give them some flavor and get a little bit of like a crunch on them, because this is going to be part of our sauce. We're going to use the same pan. So I keep telling you, I'm a one-pan girl. All right, so now we add a little more olive oil to the pan. And we're going to put in that garlic. So here's our garlic. We don't want to burn the garlic, so we have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to turn the heat way down. And with it, Another thing the Puglia is noted for, hot chilies. And depending on how much you like, well, you can crush in as much as you want. I like a lot of heat, so I'm going to put in, you know, enough to give me kind of the sensation that I'm going to have to eat a piece of cheese afterwards to kind of settle down my salivary glands. So you put in as much of the hot pepper as you want, mix that with the garlic. And then we have some anchovies. Now these are anchovies in oil. You can buy them in the grocery store. And you really want these to melt into the garlic and the oil. So you smash them down the back of your hand, the back of your spoon rather. And you just let that flavor everything. And I'm going to add just a tad more olive oil to that, because this is going to be the sauce for our cavatelli. But we also have to add one more thing, and that is broccoli rabe. People call this rapini, rabi, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, broccoli rabe, used a lot in pugliese cooking. So you want to buy it fresh. You want to take off those stems. Those you could use either in your compost or how about in your soup? That's good too. And you add the washed, cut up into small pieces broccoli rabe right to this. Goes in. Or you could put this in the pan when you're cooking the pasta. You could add the broccoli rabe right to the same cooking water. You want to mix this around and let it absorb a lot of the essence of this sauce, which is the garlic, the anchovies, the hot red pepper. And at the end, when we come back to this, I'm going to add a little bit of the cooking water from the cavatelli. The most important thing when you're cooking pasta, have a big pot and a lot of water. And then salt it when the water comes to a boil. So our water's at a rolling boil. We've salted it. Here are the cavatelli. I just pick them right up and put them right into that boiling water. I give them a quick stir, and when they come to the top, I know they're ready to fish out of there and add to the sauce. You see how these cavatelli have come to the top? Well, you want to know whether they're cooked or not, right? So what do? You take one out and you say, cooked. Those are delicious. All right, so, pardon me. We're going to take a little of this water. This water has a lot of nice starch in it. And add it right there to our sauce. You should always do that. Get a little bit more. Okay, now we can take out the cavatelli. So you really want to get the excess water off. And you see how beautifully they are separated. There's no adding oil to the water, which nobody in Italy would do. And I know a lot of my friends add oil to the water when they're cooking pasta, and I just about cringe when I see that, but they're friends, so I don't say anything. But anyway, if you have plenty of water to begin with, you don't need to do that. People do that because they think that the pasta is all going to stick together. But I'm here to prove to you that that is not true at all. So fish them all out into your saucepan, and then all we have to do, of course, is add those beautiful toasted breadcrumbs that we did in olive oil. Okay, so there they are. I'm going to combine them. Look how pretty this is. Like I said, not every sauce in Italy is a tomato sauce. This is wonderful with these beautiful greens. Pugliese are known for their vegetables. You could do this with something else. You could do it with asparagus. You could do it with peas. Pretty. Look how pretty that looks. Colors of the Italian flag. I don't want to miss any of that. Spread that out. We add some of those beautiful breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs right over the top.